Well, howdy folks. So, sovereign citizens. If you haven't heard of them, then these sovereign citizens are basically people who try and take the laws into their own hands and think that the laws don't apply to them. And most of these sovereign rules and laws that they make up for themselves just seems to be fueled by, I don't know, Facebook posts or something. Because if there was anything truthful to them, then you'd see some people navigating around the law and actually winning cases. But you don't. All these people just make fools of themselves and normally end up going to jail. So anyway, let's have a look at some of these hilarious police cam and courtroom clips and just watch how much these people expose themselves to just be egotistical fools. Right, let's start with one of the funniest ones I've ever seen.
That's my preferred method of identification.
And this is?
It's a cat collar. I'm currently identifying as a cat.
Okay. Well, look,
Meow.
we can do this the hard way if you'd like. I can have this car towed because last I checked, a cat is not licensed to operate a motor vehicle in the state of California. We can have animal control come get you, take you to a shelter where your owner can retrieve you for a fee of $70 after you're given the necessary immunizations, which do include a rabies shot, possibly even spayed or neuter, whichever you prefer or identify with.
I don't know. I don't have $70.
I can also request that a mental health care professional come down here on scene and do an evaluation of you because you're considering letting him take a rabies shot rather than just give me an ID, use some manners so I can give you your ticket and move on.
And this is honestly one of the best ways I've seen of dealing with these people. If someone's trying to identify as an animal, that's just crazy. Like, look at this guy's face. I mean, these people just know they're absolute idiots. Well, they probably don't know that they're absolute idiots. But for some reason in their head, they think, oh, I can identify as a cat and get away with this. But this guy actually looks like he's almost considering, you know, trying to get animal control. But honestly, one of the best responses I've ever seen by a cop against one of these sovereign citizens slash extreme trans people who try to identify as something that they're actually not.
41-year-old Brian Musgrove has been charged with embezzlement, using a computer to commit a crime, and larceny in a building. 8 months earlier, Musgrove was arrested for allegedly stealing industrial tools and equipment valued at over $68,000 from his employer, a sawmill and lumber company.
$68,000, damn.
He was released on a $40,000 personal bond. And today, Musgrove appears before Judge Anna Marie Anzalone to discuss next steps in the case.
What's your name?
And what's this guy going to be like?
You're Brian Musgrove?
I'm here to represent.
I have no idea what that means, so why don't you come up to the podium? So, what is your name?
Already.
Brian Joseph Musgrove.
Okay, are you an attorney? What's your P number?
I'm not an attorney.
So then you can't represent Brian Musgrove. So you are a defendant, correct?
I'm an ex-executor on that estate.
Okay, so none of that is valid or legal. So you have Michael Dagger Margosian. Okay, so he's your attorney. Okay, so go have a seat. When Mr. Dagger Margosian gets here, I'll call your case, okay?
Later, Musgrove's court-appointed attorney, Michael Dagger Margosian, joins the hearing remotely.
Mr. Musgrove, are you asking to no longer have counsel represent you?
What I'm understanding is that the courts is a private
So
for-profit.
Mr. Musgrove, I know where you're going with this, and none of that is valid.
It appears Musgrove is trying to use the sovereign citizen defense.
I'm not the all caps name. The courts
None of that is
deal
valid.
with-
None of that is law.
That was the stupidest argument ever. Like, I'm not an all caps name. Well, you know, there's plenty of forms and stuff that you have to put your surname in capital letters, for example, because it's easier to read them when they're scanning it. Letters are letters. These people just haven't got a leg to stand on when they put up arguments like that.
Standing in my courtroom, I have jurisdiction over you. So none of
Exactly.
that is valid under the law of the state of Michigan or the Constitution of the United States of America.
What do you mean it is?
No,
The Supreme Court says it is.
nope, not valid. So what you are talking about is not going to get you out of this case. You're not going to be able to say all those things because it's not valid.
Everyone involved in this court case has a financial interest in the case. What is it?
I don't have a financial interest in your case. I get paid by the state of Michigan, whether you plead, whether it gets dismissed. I don't make any money off
In order
you.
for there to be a crime, there has to be a victim. There is no.
Well, the victim that's alleged in this would be that business.
Right, and I can't face that accuser because that business can't get on the stand for me to ask questions, and a third party.
But their
can't stand
representative
it.
can. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Yes, they
Okay.
can.
Despite the judge's explanation, Musgrove continues to argue.
God, these people are just so difficult. These are the type of people who'd be pulled over for a quick traffic ticket and they'd end up with 5 years in prison.
Laws and statutes that you guys go by
Are legal.
for corporations. They're for fictitious.
Still a crime. Still a crime.
But I'm not
Still
a
a
fictitious
crime.
corporation. I'm a living person.
Yep, and that's
What is
why
he
you're
even trying to
standing in front of me.
argue?
If you were dead, the case would be dismissed.
Exactly.
So,
Flippin'
do you want
idiot.
to represent yourself, or do you want to have an attorney to represent you?
Oh,
I
TikTok.
need some time to think.
Yeah, probably.
A month later, Musgrove accepted a deal, pleading guilty to larceny in a building in exchange for the embezzlement and computer charges being dismissed. He was sentenced to 36 months probation and ordered to pay restitution of $21,660 to his former employer.
Dear, what an absolute muppet.
I don't understand what you're saying. I don't speak your language. I only speak man to man.
What the hell does that even mean? I don't speak your language, I only speak man to man.
In Green Bay, Wisconsin, where 22-year-old Ryan Desmith and 24-year-old Jordan Salmi are appearing on gun possession charges. 3 weeks
course.
earlier, the men attended a church Christmas pageant armed with loaded semi-automatic pistols.
What?
Desmith and Salmi are members of what's called the Hebrew Israelite community, along with former Green Bay Packer Kabir Baja Biamila, known as KGB.
So they're like radical religious extremists then, I guess.
KGB was involved in a dispute with his ex-wife over his religious objections to their children appearing in the pageant. He asked the men to film the event in his absence for evidence. Desmith and Salmi refused to leave when church leaders asked. Police arrived and charged them both with disorderly conduct, obstructing an officer, and carrying a concealed weapon.
Okay.
Today, they're at the Brown County Court for a first appearance on the charges. And they're not going to make things easy for County Court Commissioner Cynthia Vopal.
Did you get my notice?
Your notice, sir?
His notice?
I'm not a sir.
You can have a seat.
Have a seat,
Here we go
please.
already. He's not a sir.
The notice that Desmith asks about is one of a series of handwritten notes he and Salmi filed, which claim they're not part of the legal society and quote, idiots before the court.
Notice, idiot. Man, am an idiot before the court, and I'm not part of the legal society. Man only speak man to man, layman's terms only. Man just bloody crazy. What the hell? I've never seen anybody try and put a note in like this to a courtroom before.
Their list of demands includes $300,000, no
Oh my
jail
gosh.
time, and various apologies and retractions.
What? Let's read some of these. Right, so $300,000 before placed upon my person. What? He's just expecting them to just give him like almost $250,000. All flights cancelled to New York. What? When my name pulls up no arrest record, bears against fellow man. What does that even mean? Well, I guess the description in the notice was accurate, that they are just absolute idiots. And then requested no jail time, retraction of I name. What is that instead of my name? So he's trying to refer to himself as an I instead of a my. So retraction of I name in the newspapers as a black Hebrew Israelite. Retraction that I am armed and dangerous. But if they consider you armed and dangerous, then they're going to say it. Widespread that I am peaceful, I worship only one Elohim. I've never seen that word before, but I'm assuming that just means like God or whatever. Apologies from the public servants for arresting I on private property, a civil matter, not criminal. And apologies from the public servants for leaving I in a 45-degree room naked, no clothes, no shoes, on forcing I to self-preserve. Well, all that is just so delusional and nuts. I don't even think there's an IQ test that goes low enough to be able to even measure these guys.
Do you plan on hiring an attorney?
I don't understand what you're saying. I don't speak your language. I only speak man to man.
Okay. I'm going to enter.
He says using very clear English. What an absolute monkey.
I don't understand what you're saying. I don't speak your language. I only speak man to man.
Okay. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf.
If you enter a plea on my behalf, you will be held fully liable.
And you will have these cases.
Wow.
We will be then sending this case upstairs.
God, these people never cease to amaze me. The level of idiocy just tops itself, or should I say bottoms itself, every single time.
Who are you?
I am the court commissioner. I'm in charge of hearing this introductory hearing in the court.
Who are you? You just answered the question, sir.
So we don't have time for this. I have a courtroom full of people.
I'm not a sir.
You are a sir.
The
You're a
hearing ends
man.
when Desmith refuses to sign his bond paperwork.
Either sign this or we're gonna mark it as refused. I deny service. Okay. Refused, and then you can leave. Okay. You're done here.
Goodbye.
On his way out, he fist bumps his supporters, including
Wow.
KGB, who's watching from the gallery.
It's just funny how delusional these people's worldviews are.
The court has even less time for Salmi's dissent, which lasts only 30 seconds.
Wow. Here we go.
I, man Jordan Salmi, am in a state of man, now passing forward.
What the heck is this guy saying? For I, man Jordan Salmi, am in a state of man. Have you ever heard such made-up word baloney in your whole life? For I, man, am in a state of man. Crazy.
I'm not a
me take
respondent or
him in.
defendant. You can leave. I'm asking you to leave. Is that an order? Leave, please.
Absolute monkey.
5 months later, despite more disruptive court appearances, Desmith and Salmi's obstructing and disorderly charges were dismissed as part of a plea agreement. They were sentenced to 1 year probation for carrying a concealed weapon and banned from owning firearms in that time. They also had to write letters of apology to officers at the scene of the incident.
Well, good. Because at the end of the day, the officers are just trying to do their job. And people like this turn what could be just something like a 10-minute traffic stop and a ticket into actually affecting their lives. God, there's so many crazy people out there, and the internet and its echo chambers are just not helping things at all. It's accelerating it and making it worse. The best thing that comes out of it, really, is because more of these people get bred, then we've got cameras everywhere, so we get to see a lot of these monkeys being humiliated on camera. And that is gold and hilarious, so I can't pass that up.
Next, we're in Charleston, West Virginia for a pretrial hearing.
Alrighty.
Henry T. Eldon. Henry T. Eldon. Henry T. Eldon.
Henry T. Eldon is in the courtroom, but he is refusing the magistrate's order to come forward to the defendant's table.
Of course he is.
I have no response. Get up here in this seat right now.
That's
Yeah,
right.
come on, you
the
silly
judge
sausage.
called him thrice. Eldon is facing multiple charges, including fraudulent official proceedings and fraudulent service of indebtedness related to falsely filing claims with the court. Today, he's joined in the courtroom by a friend who's recording the proceedings on his cell phone and getting involved himself.
I'm
Not
a witness,
surprised.
Okay, what I'm saying is, he is present, and he's chosen not to step up there. He's asking not for an appointed lawyer. He doesn't need an attorney.
So you're acting in the capacity
I'm
of
not
lawyer?
acting. I'm a witness.
You're a
Just an
witness?
American national.
An American national.
American National is another nod to the sovereign citizen movement that both he and the defendant identify with.
Ah, okay, I didn't realise that someone saying that they're an American national or something is also kind of like saying that they're a sovereign citizen. I wonder if some in the UK refer to themselves as British nationals then. I am a country within a man.
Eventually, Eldon does respond to the magistrate, Ward Harshbarger, but still refuses to come forward.
Of course he does.
Order has to be established before
Yes.
anything can proceed.
Well, okay, well, get up in your seat now, and we will wait for that. We have some preliminary thing.
Just do what you're required to do by law, you
Do
stupid
it
monkey.
now. All right, this is State versus Henry T. Eldon Jr. Mr. Eldon, I need to have a seat at the defendant's table.
For the record, I'm
Shut
a
up and
witness.
sit down. You sit down and not say another word.
Seemingly getting more aggravated, the magistrate turns to his courtroom deputy for assistance.
Well, good. See, I don't even know how people have the balls to even like go into a courtroom or something once they've been summoned for some reason of law and then think they're in any reason to call the shots. There's judge, authorities, other staff who know the rules, know the laws, etc. And for some reason, these people who probably just look at Facebook posts all the time are trying to act as if they're above the law. People are nuts. And you do get sovereign citizens over in the UK and other countries, but gosh, you seem to get a lot more of them over in America, from what I've seen anyway.
Would you get Mr. Eldon? Will you show you where the seat is, please?
That's
I
it.
have precious.
You may have a seat right there.
Go on, Mr. Eldon.
You may have a seat right
Doesn't matter if you're
there.
happy where you are. You don't make
Eldon
the bloody
finally gets up to the
rules.
stand before the judge, but it won't be for long.
You are going to be held in contempt.
Absolutely.
All right, Mr. Eldon, can you just stand up for me, please? Turn around, place your hands behind your back, if you would.
And who are you? And do you have a warrant, a signed warrant?
Did you hear that? Let me play that again.
And Who are you, and do you have a warrant, a signed
I do
warrant?
not have a warrant. I've just
Like he's actually asking the police officer if he has a warrant. These people are just idiots. Either that or are just people who've never faced actual consequences in their life. Like, did they never get punished by anybody when they were younger for doing something stupid or wrong?
made aware by the judge that he wants me to take you into custody for obstructing judicial process, okay?
Exactly.
But before the magistrate had the defendant arrested and cuffed, he pulls a final move out of every parent's playbook and counts to 3.
Ooh.
Have a seat. 2. Have a seat.
Oh, I love this.
I would like to speak, and I have
2.5.
to present.
No, it did go 3.
I don't know how I'm instructed.
Last warning.
You won't comply.
Doesn't matter if you don't know. You're an idiot. Just listen to them and do what they
Again,
say.
locked in a stalemate, the magistrate decides to just get down to business.
See, that cop should have actually forcefully put him in that seat. Because now the stupid sovereign citizen is getting a little bit away with his behaviour.
So the answer, and I will answer for him, is not guilty. Okay?
I haven't made any plea, nor should you make
All
one
right.
for me.
Oh my gosh.
I don't accept anything that's
Whether
happened
you
to you
accept
today.
it or not,
I
Mr.
did not,
Allen,
in your own
you may
position.
Escort him out. Court is adjourned.
The court wouldn't confirm the details, but according to Eldon, he did not appear for his next court hearing and was arrested on a bench warrant and served 2 weeks in jail. He also says the original fraudulent service and fraudulent official proceedings charges against him were later dropped.
So the fraudulent charges he first had were dropped eventually, but he ended up having 2 weeks in prison just for being an absolutely insufferable asshole.
Good morning. Are you Nasir Brown?
I'm not here today on special appearance.
I'm sorry, speak up so I can hear you.
Here today
You're appearing here today?
by special appearance.
Okay, what is your name?
I'm a third party intervener on behalf of artificial legal entity Nasir Brown.
Already.
At some point in your life prior to being this third party, were you Nasir Brown?
No,
You're not him.
I'm a third party intervener.
So here's the thing. If you don't tell me your name, I'm going to put you in custody for not cooperating this morning. I'm not going to, hold on. I understand what you're doing, what you're trying to do. It's not going to help you a single bit in court to try to play these games.
That's relative. That's it.
So are you Nasir Lewis Brown, or have you been him at some point in your life or not?
Yes.
Okay.
There we go. He's got a name. God, how difficult are these people? Like, they must know themselves that they're just either full of shit, either that, or they're just too stupid to even know that they're full of shit and they genuinely believe this stuff. Actually, it wouldn't surprise me. They probably genuinely believe this stuff, and most of them are just like sub 90 IQ people.
I'm going to call you by Mr. Brown because I'm not going to say all the words that you just said, because you have now
Damn right.
identified yourself as Nasir Lewis Brown. And so, Mr. Brown, this is your initial appearance, and you have 2 cases. And cause number 26, I just asked you not to speak over me. So here's the thing, Mr. Brown.
Every single breath that just comes out of his mouth is just something aggravating.
I'm going to be very patient.
And at the child subject matter jurisdiction, going on record.
Your challenge of the subject matter jurisdiction is overruled. Let me go through what I need to go through, okay? So this is your initial appearance, your first day in court. I'm required to go through what you're charged with by indictment. In cause number 26, BCCR 03322, you're charged with a 3rd-degree felony offense of assault family violence by impeding breath or circulation from February 16th of 2026.
So he violently strangled somebody. That's what that description sounds like.
And then in cause number 26, DCCR 0323, you're charged with the state jail felony offense of injury to a child. And that's from February 16th of 2026.
So now he's hurting and endangering kids as well. Is that his own child? God, regardless, already sounds like an animal, and he's trying to pull this sovereign citizen bull.
And so since you have made bond and got out of jail on your cases, have you had an opportunity to try to hire a lawyer? It's been up and down?
Yes.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do, Mr. Brown, is I'm just like everyone else. I'm resetting your case about 30 days to give you some time to try to hire a lawyer. You need to try to get someone hired before the next court date. If you do, just bring the reset notice that you get today to that lawyer, and they'll tell you what to do. If you're unable to hire someone before the next court date, then I'm ordering you to visit with at least 3 lawyers. They all charge different amounts. They have different payment plans. Bring me back the names of the lawyers that you've talked to, so I know you're trying, and we'll discuss your options. If you don't do that, then when you come back, you run the risk of me raising your bond for not following that court order, and you would go back to jail. Do you understand? I'm sorry?
Overstand.
Say it again.
Overstand.
You overstand?
Yes.
Oh
Okay.
my.
What does that mean?
He's one of these.
Overstand.
Do you understand what I'm saying, sir?
I'll blind.
You'll oblige.
I'll oblige. See, these people are just so insecure that they can't even say I understand something because they don't want to like appear like they're under some authority. So they say like I overstand because then they feel like they're above the authority or something. I don't exactly know what kind of mental gymnastics goes on to get there, but that's just totally laughable, and I couldn't take any of these clowns seriously if they try and use words like overstand. I overstand you. Absolute tosspots.
You're just determined to use different words and be difficult, aren't you?
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
So
you're
as a
not using
condition
English,
of your
mate.
bond, did you have a condition that you were not to have any contact or communication with the complaining witnesses in each of these cases, right? Okay, and so I want to make sure you understand the importance of that. And that if you do have any contact or communication with either of them, it would be a violation of that bond condition. If I find out, your bond would be raised and you would go back to jail. Do you understand that as well?
Overstand.
You
Overstand, of
overstand.
course.
I'm going to guess that overstand is even better than understand. So you definitely know what I'm talking about, right? So we don't have any miscommunication today. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
That was actually probably the best way to deal with it at the end. Just saying, like, I'm assuming overstand means better than understand, so you definitely know what I mean. And if he agrees to that, then yep, that's more than what the judge needs. God, how do these people even think that what they're saying will get the other people in the room's respect? See, any normal person would feel like an absolute idiot trying to use a word like that, and they would say, oh, sorry, I mean understand. But no, this guy's like, oh no, I'm morally right saying overstand. What a crazy muppet. And what a crazy violent muppet by the sounds of it as well. This isn't just like a traffic ticket or something. He strangled somebody and endangered or hurt a child. So he's just a low IQ, egotistical, delusional animal. We got a British one.
You were receiving infringement notice in the mail for failing to wear a seatbelt, okay?
Do your best.
Okay. Do you...
Do
I
your
don't consent
best.
to any of this.
Yep. So what are your details, if that's right? Just your name and date of birth.
What do I have to give that to you for?
Yep,
So am I under obligation to give you that
Yep,
license?
so you're provided to give me
By
your
law?
name, name and address.
By law?
Name and address, yes.
Can you cite that law for me, please?
Yep, so it's the Summary Offences Act, which is 458.
Act, it's not a law.
He thinks an act is not a law. An act is a law. There's another name for it before it actually becomes law, isn't it? What is it? A bill. Yeah, so when a bill gets proposed, that's the proposal of the law, and then when the act gets put through by Parliament, then it becomes law. At least I'm talking about in the UK.
So do you agree I'm a man?
I don't know. I'm not going to assume your gender, sir.
I think you can tell. A man. As
Come
in
on, he's clearly a
I
man.
can't assume your
Mankind.
gender. I can't assume your gender. I apologise.
You're right.
It's not even to do with gender.
Yeah, I'm an 80-year-old lady. Do you agree I'm a man?
I don't know what you identify
A
as.
living man. I'm alive. Am I
agree
alive?
that you're alive, yes.
Am I alive?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Obviously.
fully agree that you're alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So living man is
Your
in
present-
mankind.
your present in body and mind.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you
I fully agree.
haven't stipulated to me that law where I have to give you my license.
Yeah,
Show you my
so it's the
license.
Summary Offences Act.
Yes, he did.
Your mobile phone
Yeah.
is there. You're more than welcome to look up the Summary Offences Act. Go for it.
Act is not a law.
Yeah, very reasonable officer. He was just doing his job, didn't lose his cool, told him in black and white what he actually needs to do by law, and that should be good enough. But of course, these people just want to be combative and then most of the time get arrested. Or create a massive inconvenience for themselves, which just wouldn't have happened if they just complied and just said yes or no, officer. Stupid idiots. Right, I think that'll just about do it for today. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.